Hi, we're glad you tuned in. We've been talking in the last several classes about 5 important indicators of health that we call vital signs. And healthy, loving relationship is one of those 5 important indicators of life and health. And so we want to cover healthy relationships in depth in the next 4 classes.
Jesus tells us in Mark 12, 29 to 31, that the great commandment is to love God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second commandment is to love others as we love ourselves.
And verse 31 says that there's no commandment greater than these.
This too, yeah.
Many of us focus much of our time and energy on the second commandment of loving others, which is very important. But you can't give what you don't have. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
You may hear it again. Religion sometimes teaches us to be servants, but not sons.
Unfortunately.
And can focus more on rules and right behavior than relationship. But in order to love others, we must receive not just God's forgiveness, but his love.
If we look at the order in these verses, our priority is first to receive God's love. And the Bible says we love God because he first loved us. So we receive his love, then love God with our spirit, soul, and body, and then love ourselves so that we can properly love others.
Wow,
It's
an
an
order to it.
Yeah.
When you fly on an airplane, before taking off, the flight attendant gives instructions for a breathing mask in case of emergency. They warn you to put on your own mask first before helping others. In the same way, we need to receive God's love first before we can really love others.
The point of Jesus' sacrifice and God's forgiveness of our sin is to remove the obstacles to an intimate love connection with him. Many people have received the gift of salvation, but although the obstacle to relationship with God have been removed, they still don't enter into intimate daily communion with him.
I grew up in church hearing God love me all the time, but it was many, many years before I actually had an experience with his love and was able to receive his love.
Yes.
1 John 4:8 says, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. He who does not love does not know God, for God is love."
Amen. Verse 7 says, everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. That means in order to have truly loving relationship with others, we must first know God. Not know about God, but know he's this God who is love through an intimate relationship.
It's like you can know who the president is. You can know all kinds of facts about him, but you may not really know him in relationship. And we need to know God in intimate relationship in order to know love, because God is love.
Yes. Ephesians 3:17 and 18 says, "May you be rooted deep in love and founded securely on love, that you may have the power and be strong to apprehend and grasp with all the saints the experience of that love."
Experience of love.
What is the breadth and the length and the height and the depth of it?
You know, the enemy tries to get us focused on temporary things in the present rather than the majesty and immensity of God's eternal love that is far beyond what we can even comprehend. In the New King James, verse 19 of Ephesians 3 says, "To know the love of Christ, which passes knowledge." How do you know something that passes knowledge?
Knowledge means to have information without experience. The Amplified version helps us to see that to know love is to experience it.
That's what the enemy did in the garden. He tried to get Adam and Eve focused on knowledge and off of knowing God through an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
In Ephesians 3:19, it says that you may really come to know practically through experience for yourself the love of Christ, which far surpasses mere knowledge without experience, that you may be filled through all your being unto all the fullness of God and become a body wholly filled and flooded with God himself. When was the last time you experienced God's love that surpasses knowledge?
Great question. We can only know and receive God's love by first opening our hearts and minds to receive his forgiveness and grace. Then, as verse 19 says, we will be completely filled and flooded with God, who is love.
When we experience God's love filling our spirit, soul, and body, we'll be transformed to his image and reflect his love to the world. Ephesians 3:20 in the Amplified says that when we're filled with God's love, he's able to do super abundantly, far above and all above beyond all that we dare ask or think, infinitely beyond our highest prayers, desires, thoughts, hopes, or dreams.
Amen. A lamp can't light up the darkness unless it is plugged in and turned on. For us to experience God's love and share it with others, we must be connected to the one who is love.
When we experience and receive God's love, he fills us, transforms us, and does incredible things in and through our lives.
Join us in the next portion when we talk more about God's amazing love.